Welcome back to Proverbs 31 Life. It is time for another hysterectomy update. I am 6 months post-op today, so that is pretty exciting. And I do these periodically for those of you that are needing a hysterectomy, you're thinking about a hysterectomy, you are in recovery from a hysterectomy, to let you know a few things that you're not alone. That is the most important part. Maybe you will find some hope and encouragement. I know that we are all different. We are healing different. We are in different situations and phases of life. We are in different, there's different reasons that we need that hysterectomy. So maybe this doesn't relate to you, but maybe it does. And maybe it encourages you. And that's really the goal. That's the goal of everything here at Proverbs 31 Life. So I am glad that you are here. So 6 months post-op today. So January 26th, I had surgery. And if you haven't found the other videos, I'll give you like a real quick recap. Surgery was at 8 o'clock that morning. I was discharged at 7:45 that night. No issues, no complications, minimal pain, and really smooth recovery. So I was 29 at the time of surgery, about a month before my 30th birthday. And I was able to rest when I needed to. My kids are old enough that they could help and do chores and all that. Surgery was on Thursday. My husband was home with me Thursday and Friday. He took off work both of those days, but he went to work Monday and I was okay. I actually drove that Monday, 4 days post-op. And I was okay. I was tired, but it didn't hurt. I was actually cleared to drive at 6 days post-op. So it was okay. I had a checkup at 6 days and then 6 weeks. After the 6 week appointment, we started discussing hormone replacement therapy, just because I was having really bad migraines. I'd had migraines before surgery. It's part of the fibromyalgia. But after surgery, it was just this constant nagging headache in the back of my head, and nothing made it better. My prescription migraine medicine did not help. Tylenol, ibuprofen, the pain medicine from surgery, eating, sleeping, hydrating, magnesium, nothing helped. Midol, nothing helped. And it just kept getting worse. And around 3 weeks post-op, I ended up in the urgent care because it had gotten so bad that it was causing me to vomit, and the pain was just worse than anything I've ever had. So I was dealing with things like that. So we decided, okay, maybe it's time for the hormone replacement therapy. So at 6 weeks, I started a compound. So I'm on a 50-50 blend of estradiol and estriol with testosterone and DHEA. So that's what I take. It's just one little dissolve under the tongue thing every day. Not a big deal. So 6 months out, no issues. I've not had any sort of cuff issues. They took out my cervix, so I haven't had any cuff issues, infections, anything like that. If you are in the early parts of this, you may be wondering, when is my bladder going to get back to normal? Mine was around 3 to 4 weeks. I really noticed a difference at that 3 week mark of, okay, this is starting to feel normal again, but it could be 3 to 4 weeks. So I did not come home with the catheter. I did not have a catheter when I woke up after surgery. Some of you I'm seeing are coming home with it. You've got it for a week, things like that. I did not. So I don't know if I'm sure that's affecting it. Your bladder's just not able to fully heal and do what it needs to with that catheter in there. So be patient, okay? Don't push it. I think I was around 3 or 4 weeks post-op. I was able to start cleaning. I could load and unload the dishwasher. I think I cleaned my shower because like it just needed to be clean and I just couldn't stand it anymore. I was exhausted, but I got it done. I waited for 8 weeks to vacuum though. My kids were vacuuming, which is fine. But around that 8 to 9 week mark, I decided it was time to spring clean. So it was like March or April, maybe January, February, March. So yeah, probably March to April somewhere. I decided I needed a spring clean. Things just needed to be clean. We were having some warm days, so the weather was nice. Windows needed to be open, and I needed to clean. We'd been kind of just getting by, with me recovering and the kids helping, and we were still trying to do school. We took off some time from our homeschooling for my recovery. So we had that. So I just needed to clean, and I did. So I vacuumed, dusted, cleaned the showers, mopped, all the things, and it felt so good. to have a clean house. It took me about 2 weeks to get it all done because I still needed to rest. We were still trying to do school. I still had errands and appointments and stuff, but I did, and I was like, okay, now we're reset, now we're okay. My doctor did not give me any sort of instructions as far as like, don't bend over. Some of you I'm seeing are saying that, you can't bend over to empty the dishwasher or something like that. I was never told that. I was just told no heavy lifting until 6 weeks, so I didn't vacuum. If I went to the grocery store and picked up anything heavier than a gallon of milk, I wouldn't pick it up. I would ask my kids to get it, or I'd go with my husband and he would get it, and that helped. I remember in the earlier weeks, I was still walking pretty slow, but my husband went with me. We went to go get groceries, and I needed laundry detergent. So I found the laundry detergent, and they only had it in a liquid instead of like the pods or anything. So I went to pick it up, and I picked it, like barely picked it up. I moved it to the front of the shelf, and I put it back down. And I was like, okay, I need you to come get this for me, which is hard because I don't like asking for help. I want to just be able to get my things and go on with life. But we made it. So let's talk about what side effects and things I'm having 6 months out. Hot flashes, still, they did remove my ovaries. So everything was removed. So if you still have your ovaries, then around this time, maybe you've already been there, maybe you're getting there, but around 6 months, it's really common for your ovaries to be, they've bounced back. They were in shock from the surgery. Lots of things have happened. The blood flow to your ovaries has been diminished because the uterus is no longer there. So they are still trying to find their happy place. For some people, it causes your ovaries to actually shut down, and within 2 years, you will be in menopause. It's one of the reasons a lot of the issues I was having before, and that piece of information, I wanted my ovaries removed. So I opted for that. Really just kind of almost fought with my doctor to get it. So we did. Since surgery, some of the immediate side effects that I noticed was having that headache. Day 3, I had a hot flash, putting on my makeup, getting ready for church. But around week 2, 3, my energy was getting better than not just recovering from surgery, but better than before surgery. So before surgery, I was dealing with all the fibromyalgia things. Almost really felt like I was in a constant flare because my cycles of those hormone changes would bring a flare. So I would be in a flare anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks a month. It just depended on what my hormones were doing. So you combine that with polycystic ovarian syndrome, and my body was just not happy. One thing was feeding off of another, and it was just this vicious cycle. So I was hoping to break the vicious cycle. So my energy is better than before surgery. My fibro flares are less. Honestly don't think I've really had a whole flare. I've had a few symptoms. I was actually having muscle spasms about a month ago, all in my back, and that's a fibro thing. Some muscle relaxers for a couple days, help those to settle down, and I'm fine. I didn't even take all the muscle relaxers. I think I got 30 or 40, real small, low dose, and I could take like 2 or 3 a day. They didn't even make me tired, so I was really thankful for that, but I didn't even need all of them. It was just a few days, and my muscles calmed down. It has been the last like 3 days. My hands have started hurting again, but it's not constant, and it's not quite as bad as it was before surgery. It's the same type of pain, of just that dull, achy, like my hands just hurt. That's part of the fibro. We did not have the surgery thinking it would cure the fibro. We said that it might, but we're really just trying to reduce the flares. I was managing, learning to live with the everyday pain, but the flares were worse. That was more. That was more intense. So if I could just not have the flares, I could live with the rest. But we've got the headaches under control. I think my hormones leveling out. If I start up with a headache or migraine, then I just take my prescription migraine medicine, and most of the time that knocks it out. So that is the same or better than before surgery. As long as that medicine's working and I'm not having to take it every single day, it's a win. We are happy. Not having the pain every day. My joints don't hurt like they did, especially when the weather gets destabilized. So it's changing from nice, you know, warm, heat, humidity, sunny, all the things, and like a storm comes in, that would set me into a flare. Almost like arthritis. When, you know, your grandpa says it's gonna rain, my knee hurts. That's kind of how I felt. But it was my whole body. It was like a blanket, like a weighted blanket was put on me, and I couldn't move. And it was just, oh, this is coming. My headaches were more often. My insomnia got worse. My pain was all over all the time, and it increased. My appetite was all kinds of off. I didn't want to eat. So that was a lot of the flare things. No energy at all. And sometimes that would be set off just as simple as a storm coming in. If it rained for 2 or 3 days and was that gloomy, just kind of gross, I'd come out of it and I would be okay. But when it shifted back to being sunny and hot and humid and the rain left and that change took place, I would have a small flare again until it, you know, 2 or 3 days and it stabilized and I would be okay. That's really bad in the rainy season, okay? Spring, when we're having tornadoes and, you know, all those hot and cold fronts and all that is terrible. But that's been a lot better since surgery. We've come through spring now, and I was not as uncomfortable or miserable with all those changes. So that's really nice. So the headaches are better, the energy's better, my brain fog is better, my anxiety is better, just all the hormones changing things. So that's definitely a win. So that's where we are. I'm having hot flashes still. The hormone replacement therapy, I feel like, has helped with that. And some days, some weeks are better than others. But my HRT does not have progesterone in it. And I've read progesterone helps with the hot flashes, insomnia, things like that. But there's some studies that say it increases your chances of cancer if you don't have a cervix or a uterus. And I don't have either one of those. If I had a cervix, then they would probably be more apt to be like, okay, let's put in some progesterone. But I think that is my doctor's hesitation. So we're going to talk about that later and weigh out some pros and cons. But I'm sleeping better than I was before surgery. So I'm not having all the flares and the pain. So that's definitely nice. I don't have days on end of insomnia. Before surgery, that's when, so most of you know I've written 2 books, and that's when a lot of my writing was done, was between like midnight and 2 to 4 a.m. because I just couldn't sleep. So I would get up and I would write. That's why I had so many typos and I had to proofread and edit so much, was because it was all at night and I'd sit here in the dark and I would just use the light from my laptop. So that's better. I'm sleeping, so that's nice. Yeah. So that's really the hot flashes. So let's talk about some supplements for after surgery. I take a good multivitamin. It has tons of vitamins and minerals in it. I take a good collagen. So my collagen supplement is actually types 1 and 3 bovine collagen, and it is combined with some vitamin C, some protein, and some hyaluronic acid. So it's helping with not just your hair, skin, and nails, but also your teeth, your bones, your joints, muscles, gut health. All of that collagen works for all of those areas. So it's really, collagen is no longer just a women's supplement. This is, everyone can benefit for some collagen, could benefit from some collagen. So I take a B complex. So not having those ovaries, not having that estrogen, progesterone, testosterone production, mostly the estrogen, can affect your bones, your bone health, your heart health, your muscle health, weight, weight gain, weight loss, lots of those things. I've stayed pretty steady in my weight after surgery. I've gained some because I've just wanted to eat the ice cream and the cookies that are in the house. So we're pulling that back, going back to low carb again, but those B vitamins really help with that. So what I take is a complete complex. Some things that we know are like niacin is actually B3. Biotin is B7. We know what B12 does, so it's all of those. So niacin, biotin, those are B vitamins that everybody needs. So mine is actually labeled as a hair, skin, and nail supplement, but it has a whole B complex, has a little bit of collagen, has some, I think it's green tea or green leaf extract in it, has A, B, or all the B's, A, C, D, and E vitamins maybe in smaller amounts. So your vitamins and minerals, your supplements are not meant to replace your diet, okay? You still need to eat all of those things. This is just to supplement. So don't think that you can eat or take those vitamins and you don't really have to worry about how you eat. You need to find that balanced, what is good for you, balanced diet. Don't let your supplements do all the work. And I take evening primrose oil, and this is something that I just get at Walmart, Walgreens, whoever's got it on sale. Walgreens, a lot of the times, will, at least ours, will run like a buy one, get one free on their supplements, or buy one, get one half off. So that's when I buy my evening primrose oil. I take 1,000 milligrams a day, and I've noticed a difference in my hot flashes. They're still there, but I don't feel like they're as often. And I could go to 2,000 milligrams a day and see what that does. I just haven't done it yet because my bottle's almost empty and I haven't bought the next bottle yet. So when I run out, then I have to go get this right now. Or just remember next time I'm at the store, and obviously I'm not really good at doing that, but it's okay. So you can take that. If you are just having some of those female issues of heavy periods, painful periods, cramping, anything like that, evening primrose oil is really good for that. It is a women's supplement and it helps with all the things, really. So you don't even have to have a hysterectomy for this to be good for you. And you can take, before my hysterectomy, especially around the week of my cycle, I would take 2,000 milligrams a day to help with the cramping and all of that, because it was pretty intense some weeks. So I would just increase that to have that extra support from that discomfort. So that's where I'm at. So 6 months post-op today. Hot flashes are really the biggest side effect symptom of menopause that I have. The hormone replacement therapy, I think, is working. It's helping. A lot of you wonder about your sex drive, your sex life, because we've taken out those hormones. Some people battle no want, dryness. Maybe they want to, but things just don't function properly and you're not going to be able to climax like you want to. And that is possible, but there's things for that. If you take that hormone replacement therapy, it can help with that. There's lots of really good lubricants on the market, and we just have no problem using a lubricant. We just always have it because you just never know. So I have no issues using that. So don't think that there's something wrong with you. Don't think that this can't be fixed. It can. It just might take some time, take some trial and error. You might have changes. You might not, especially if you leave your ovaries. You might not have any changes. Whether they take your ovaries or not, wait, as long as your doctor says to wait, okay? It is not worth the risk of damaging something and setting your recovery back even further. I was cleared at 6 weeks. So just wait, whatever your doctor says. So that was a concern, and that was one of the things I talked to my husband about before was, this could change. I could have really bad mood swings. I could be tired all the time, but thankfully we're not having that. So much of that has improved. Some ladies say that their sex life has improved because they're not having the debilitating periods. They're not having the PCOS stuff all the time, the endometriosis all the time. They're not tired anymore. So they have the want to. So the frequency has improved. So those are possibilities. So like I said at the beginning, everyone is different. We all heal differently. We react differently. Be patient with yourself and your recovery. But at this point, I'm 6 months post-op and I have no regrets. I'm thankful I did this surgery. I feel like my quality of life from my surgery has improved. So I'm glad I did it. So it's not for everyone. So what I did, my first steps, if you have not found those videos yet, talk to my husband. I have enough medical knowledge from my EMT and nursing school days to be able to put things together. I understand how hormones work. I understand where the hormones are made. And then all the research and study with the fibro was a lot. The PCOS, all the things. So through that, I spoke to the nurse practitioner at my OBGYN office, who was my primary care OBGYN person. I didn't see the doctor. I just saw the nurse practitioner. And I liked her. She was fine. But I talked to her. I wanted her female medicine, OB GYN point of view on what if we do the surgery. And I told her, this is what I'm thinking. This is my thought process. This is what my body does. This is what I'm experiencing. This is what I think is going to happen. So I just laid all that out for her. And she was not in love with it because I was 29 years old. But she felt like I was on the right track, the right page, and that it could be beneficial. I had made an appointment the day before that actually and talked to my female primary care general medicine doctor who handles my fibro, handles my migraines. And I talked to her and I was like, okay, look, this is what I'm thinking. This is what I want. This is what I think is going to happen because of A, B, and C. I know these things, you know, are possibilities, but a lot of the premenopause or menopause symptoms I was dealing with as a fibro symptom of the no energy, the no sex drive, some mood swings, migraines, things like that. So whether it worked or not, I was still dealing with that. I was cold all the time too. That was a thing. Even in like right now, June, July, August, I always kept a jacket with me because I was probably going to get cold. Especially sitting in church or like at a restaurant. I would keep a jacket in the car because I was going to get so cold I couldn't stand it. And when I got really cold, my pain levels went up. So it was always this constant battle of cold and hurting. So it was really hard for me. Whatever everyone else was wearing as a standard of clothing, I was one level more insulated than that. So if everyone was in a t-shirt, I was in a long sleeve shirt. Even in the summer months, I rarely put on a t-shirt. Our home thermostat was always around 74. Always, even in the summer. And there was times that I was still cold. Like I'd have to go take a hot shower. I'd go get in bed. I'd sit under a blanket, cold at 74 degrees. That's just not normal. It's not comfortable. It's not practical. But since surgery, I feel like if I do get chilly, it's 69 degrees, you know, in the house. That makes sense. Church, you know, the thermostat's running all the time and I'm sitting closer to the vent. It makes sense. So, but since surgery, I'm not freezing all the time. So that was definitely a perk. After being so cold for so long with the fibro, to have some hot flashes, to be warm was very much welcome. Like I will wear a t-shirt, I will wear a skirt, I will wear a dress, whatever it is. Like I just don't want to be cold and hurting. So that's where we are. So that was definitely another perk of my body temperature changing. And now my thermostat's on like 70. So we've backed that off quite a bit because I'm that much warmer. So that's really nice. So I talked with my female general medicine, primary care doctor, got her point of view. She said she felt like I was on the right track. My thoughts were right. My understanding of the hormones, the pros and cons, side effects of menopause, all that stuff. She was like, yeah, you're on the right track and I think you're right. This could help you. So we moved forward with the surgery. So those were some of the steps that I took first, talking to my doctor, both of my doctors, my husband, making sure we were on the same page because like I told him, not that I think that he would leave or anything like that, but he has to love me through this, through, you know, the migraines and all the possibilities, those worst case scenarios. I just needed him to be mentally ready for, and he was ready. So it was fine. Wasn't bad, not a bad recovery at all. Just follow your doctor's orders. It's hard and you're going to be tired of being on the couch, but you can leave the house. Okay. I don't know why we get in this idea of my doctor said I have to rest, so I have to sit on the couch or stay in bed. Listen, I'm not going to stay in bed for 3 weeks. I'm not going to stay on the couch for 3 weeks. I'm going to go outside. I'm going to get some fresh air. I'm going to go to church. Okay. Even, you know, if you can handle it, I didn't have any pain riding in the car, but my husband was going to go to the store and I'm just going to sit in the car. I might not get out and walk around, but I can roll the window down and I can have some fresh air and some scenery and some sunshine because those things are good for your body and your body needs them to heal. You need the vitamin D. You need the fresh air, the sunshine, to be outside. Walk outside barefoot and get some grounding done because you've been inside under artificial lights and the TV and the smartphone and the laptop and all that. Go outside, get some grounding, get those minerals rebalanced. Recovery does not mean you have to be a couch potato. okay? Whatever, don't push yourself, but find those limits. Getting up and moving is going to help your recovery, okay? So do what you can. Don't push it. If it starts to hurt and get uncomfortable, stop and go sit down. My heating pad was my best friend those first, like, 4 or 5 weeks. I think I actually waited to like week 6 or 7 before I actually like put the thing away, because what if I need it? So I would sit on the couch, hang out with my heating pad, and, you know, read or write or watch TV, whatever it was. I could get up, you know, take a shower, come back to my heating pad, go make a sandwich, come back to my heating pad, whatever it was. But that really helped me a lot. So I would definitely encourage you to get one of those. So that is my 6-month post-op hysterectomy update. So if you have any questions, you want, you know, some suggestions, help, if you have specific questions that maybe I didn't cover, or you're not comfortable asking someone else, drop it in a comment here on this video, or follow the links below in the description, and you will be able to find my links for like my Instagram, and you can privately message me there if you want to. And I will have a thumbnail here in the video to go back to the very first post-op update that I did. So you could just see kind of how those beginning days or weeks we're going. So I hope that's a help to you. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next video. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Stay in the Word, stay close to the shepherd, and let him lead you in paths of righteousness.